Hi, I'm Rodney Willett. I'm the Democratic nominee for the 73rd House District, serving parts of Henrico County. From an education perspective, I first should say I come from a family of educators, so I've got a little bit of background here. I would say first and foremost, starting early with education, so I'm a big advocate for pre-K education. I think we need to do more to expand the funding there. But in terms of K through 12, higher ed, community colleges, workforce development, these are all critical aspects of having a workforce able to serve the business community. I think we've made great strides in some of those areas. I grew up in Prince Edward County, Virginia. We had a real focus there on vocational education. That was a great career path for many people there. Internships are critical to businesses. My company, Impact Makers, leverages interns throughout the year. We participate in a number of programs to get interns to us. That's a great way to expose mostly students and younger workers to that environment. Also looking at particular needs. Again, it's a data economy, it's a IT economy now in so many ways. My company needs IT security and data specialists, and right now there's an unmet need there, or demand that needs to be met with that. More training in those areas would be great. First and foremost, everyone should have health care. Absolutely everyone is entitled to health care and should have that. The challenge is how to do that, but not make it so burdensome on employers, on employees in terms of the cost. I saw a recent poll in Virginia looking across the state, and more than 50% of Virginians are concerned they could lose their health care for a variety of reasons. That's a scary number because it's a scary situation. There are a number of things I believe the state government can help with there. I'll talk about prescription drug pricing. Right now, everyone is suffering who has prescription drugs. My parents have both Medicare and supplemental insurance. They're still paying more than $1,000 to $1,500 a month out of pocket for prescription drug cost. The state can play a role there by negotiating, at least for certain drugs, those prescription costs, bringing those down. I heard from the Secretary of Health and Human Resources, Daniel Carey, a proposal for Virginia to operate its own exchange for the healthcare options. Right now, we outsource that to the feds. He's talking about saving $50 million a year by bringing that back to the state. There are a number of measures like that that'll make healthcare more affordable and hopefully take some of the burden off of both the employers and the employees. It's interesting from an infrastructure perspective, looking at Henrico County. I've lived here over 20 years, and 20 years ago, I would not have said that the highway and the transportation infrastructure were the most pressing infrastructure need, but it's changed. When I moved back here from Northern Virginia, people would complain about traffic, and I'd say, you haven't seen traffic till you lived in Northern Virginia. I used to live in Hampton Roads also. We're getting to those levels now. I have plenty of staff who know plenty of people are commuting on I-64. That's an absolute bottleneck during the commuting hours, both coming and going. And that's slowing people from getting to work. It's a real issue. We have crumbling infrastructure in terms of bridges and overpasses. We need to address that. That's actually a statewide issue. Henrico's part of it, but there's statewide needs there. So I think improving public transportation will be part of that infrastructure. We were doing better in this region in terms of the GRTC and the Pulse that's been implemented. I think that's been successful, but we're still not serving everyone who would like to leverage public transportation. I think the right to work laws has had its time, and it's time to move past that now, and we should repeal it. But if you look at what employers are really looking for, companies that are thinking about locating here, it's really more about education, it's about the tax structure, it's about the regulatory structure. Virginia was recently ranked as the #1 place to do business by CNBC. That's an amazing ranking to get because it recognizes the business environment we have here. I've helped to start or grow 3 different businesses in Richmond, and the reason I was able to do that is because of that business climate. We've got a well-educated workforce. We can always do better, but we do have a well-educated workforce, a reasonable tax structure, reasonable regulations. That's the kind of environment. Providing an infrastructure, providing the place that people want to live, that's really more important. Yeah, everyone would like the next Google or Amazon to come to the area, and Virginia's actually done quite well in here. The reason we've done well is because we do encourage this entrepreneurial environment. I'm an entrepreneur. I've started, as I mentioned, and helped start and grow 3 different companies in this area. And the reason we're able to do that, again, is because of the tax structure we have, because of the education system we have. It's first class, and that's attracting companies like those you mentioned here. What we need to do more of to keep that interest from particularly these larger IT companies is continuing to evolve our workforce. That could be through workforce development, it can be through our K-12 system, the colleges, and don't forget the community colleges. All of those entities play a role in educating a workforce that's ready to provide these higher level jobs with the Googles of the world, the Facebooks of the world, who are actually now here in Virginia. And I think we can do more. I think there's still opportunity there, but it's about the reputation that's preceding us. Is Virginia's a great place to do business. Let's keep backing that up with a solid workforce, people who are ready and able for those jobs. Yeah, we live in an amazing region. I think there's an amazing opportunity here. If you look at the city of Richmond, Henrico County, Chesterfield County, Hanover County, you can even take that out into other surrounding counties. The only way it's going to work, though, in terms of becoming truly successful as a region is through cooperation and collaboration. Those are certainly values I cherish in my own business, but having lived here for multiple decades, I've seen the good and the bad of that. I have seen cooperation and I've seen great things done. I've seen lack of cooperation and not getting things done. And I think we need to focus on looking at this. It's not just about Richmond, it's not just about Henrico, it's about a region. And even within the county, which is part of that region, Henrico has a great school system. Not all schools are created equal, and there definitely haves and have-nots. And we need to look at how can we raise the standards for the East End, which includes Henrico County, includes the city as well. Someone from the outside looking at coming to this region is going to focus on the whole area, not just one part of it. They're thinking of it as the greater Richmond area. And right now, in Henrico, we can point to some amazing examples of schools and then some that are not there yet. And we need to be able to present an entire county that's first class in that regard. And the same would go back to terms of how these entities coordinate. If we present a unified front, going back to transportation, if we actually have a transportation system that's serving not just the city and little parts of the counties, but actually the region, that's a great selling point for this area. It's going to be super attractive to other employers when they look at the greater Richmond support they could get. And again, that comes back to cooperation and collaboration.